Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Samin, and I'm the host of the Sam Myers Show. Thank y'all for hanging out with me just a little bit. This is gonna be quick because it's like I feel like I'm sneaking something. I'm I'm, I'm getting this in. It's Wednesday, a couple days before Christmas, and right now it's in the middle of the day. I'm not sure exactly what time. It's a quarter to 12. Cyenne's here. She's home for Christmas break. Tasha's in the back working. And that's so. I'm in the living room, right? And in the back where she's working is a beautifully set up home office. One day, I kid you, I keep saying I'm going to show you things and I never do. I am a liar. But there is a beautiful bed that do not call it a what do you call those bed? A Murphy. Do not call my bed a Murphy because it's not. Trust me, it is a car in there, price wise. But it vertically rotates from Resource Furniture, right? Resource Furniture. Just Google that and to check it out. Check out the beds and the creations of the things that are in there. My bed and Cyenne's bed, both, right, are from there. It's for small apartments. This is still a small apartment, but we lived in 400 square feet before. 425, maybe. It was tight, and we had to do things. So I had to get this bed so I could have a bed, turn it around, have an office, like a real functioning office that looked like office and looked like something in the daytime. And I would have guests come by. I'd be like, so where's sleep happening, and where is what's happening going to be happening? And it's like, oh, it's funny you should say that. So anyway, it's set up back there. We kind of had a conversation about it, and it's better for her to have her stuff back there because this is high traffic. Because the kitchen is over there, the bathroom is there, the front door is there, and the light from this window is here. That's difficult for me to figure out. That's behind me. So I have to sneak in my times right now because when Cyenne's home, she gets that I'm doing something, but her pull for herself, like she advocates for herself, is a little bit stronger. She'll give me a couple of minutes. She'll give me a half an hour. She'll peek out. I'll tell her beforehand. It works out pretty good. But she has to go to the bathroom, and if she has to go to the bathroom, if somebody, you've seen it all, right? If somebody bangs on my door because they want to give me a delivery, it all happens here. So when I have a quiet moment, I get it in. So why are you wasting time right now? So check this out. What I wanted to talk about was the president. See, I stopped. I got off that train. I got off the president train because that could be a full time job. Talking about the president, you could actually. I'm sure there's hundreds of people who have jobs just talking about him. From November 4th until a couple of days ago, he has been like a church mouse, like a orange little church mouse, and quiet and golfing, living his best life, causing a little bit of havoc, making racist statements. Like this attacking, but quietly while he plays golf, doing nothing presidential. And then the stimulus, this whole thing with the stimulus, the budget, the nine is it $900 billion or trillion? I should know that, but what I do know is that they're talking about giving $600 checks. You see where my interest comes in? Like, I'm getting $600. Okay, he comes in right and says, "No, that's not enough. You should be giving people $2,000." As he's leaving, right? So I I'd take $2,000. I take whatever they send me. I know people have different issues. They talking about different things. Money is money. They're gonna do what they're gonna do regardless. On your way out, I'm very much from the cloth of don't just leave. Don't leave mad. Just leave. Just leave. If he's leaving and that's what he wants to do, is I take it. But when I sat there and I really thought about it, and it didn't take long, I said, wow, what a way to go out. What a way to cause confusion. And what a way to show your people, the 75 million people, 4 million, 74, 75 million people who voted for him. Let's not forget that. Let's not forget that a large portion of these Americas, this America, voted for him. They loved what he was up to. They love his jargon. They love his rhetoric. They supported his ideas, no matter how extreme they were. And as he's leaving, he's making this last stand, this last stand to confuse the system even more, because most likely it's going to be $600 checks. That's what it's going to be. But now it's the conversation of it should have been this, and he was trying to do. It should have been 2,000, and if he was in office, and what's not being talked about are the structures he already set up that will not be undone for some time. You know, with fracking, with tax, the way he taxes big business and gives them liberties to not be taxed the same way like I would be taxed as a regular citizen. So much so, it makes me wonder about, well, why can't you get rid of the student loans? Why there's enough money that you're giving away that if America really wanted to, they could do it. Now it could be 1,000% wrong. I don't have a chart. I don't have perspectives. I don't have nothing. I'm just a human being talking about things that I see. My student loan is paid. It was $55,000. It's done. Hers isn't. Hers is ridiculous. Ridiculous. It will never be paid. It will never be paid. I don't want to guarantee that. I don't want to guarantee that. There has been a conversation at one point, well, not between she and I, with myself and my people, my advisors. Is that something you want to take on? And I was like, no. I was like, okay, well, you could do that. Yeah, I got it, but no. It's life-altering amount. It's a life-altering amount of money. Like, you could be homeless on the street and get the amount of money her student loan is, and you would be no longer homeless. And you would have an apartment, and you would have a car, you'd be functioning, your kids could be, going to school, your life would change. It's that number of money. It's hundreds of thousands of dollars. I don't know what education should ever cost that. I don't understand it. But I have to, right? Because I'm connected to that, but there's a buffer in there. I didn't get on here today to talk about that, but apparently I did because I am. But it's a buffer. It's something for me to think about when planning future, because I have a future that's set up in a certain way, right? It's set up. This is how it'll look for you when you're 50. This is what will be available to you when you're 55. This is when you're 60, when you're 70, all the way through. I think I'm good into 85 with, chunks of things, because I don't know about after 85. I'm not confident. Maybe I have enough time right now at 46 to change that mindset and be one of the men that's like, no, I'm 117. But right now, 85 is like, what more do you want to talk about? What more do you want to do? Where haven't you gone? Who do you want to help? I think you could get all of that done. I think I will have all of that done by that time. But that financial aid, that's something that they could take on. That's something that could be looked at. What Trump has done, and I had my aunt sent me this video that kind of did the blow by blow of everything he's done. You forget. I forget about like what's going to happen to the wall. What's going to happen to the wall? It's not complete. But how much money went into the wall for incompletion? So now what? Do they not complete the wall? Do they now spend more money to tear the wall down? I don't know. I don't know, and maybe I'm not watching or reading the right things, but that that's a real thing. That is a real project, right? Like right now, I started a project with my laundry last night. The laundry is still in the washer. I woke up this morning and I rinsed it again. Second rinse. If I don't take care of that soon, we know what's going to happen. I have to rewash it because it's going to smell like whatever that smell is of disgustingness because it's sour. And I know I'm not the only person who's ever experienced this, but that's a project and that's an incompletion that I will complete. But what if I just left it and just like went on vacation and just left that there and just continued to leave it? It's incomplete. What happens to that? What's good with all the money that they put into that? What about the stuff with the rules and the structures he's changed as far as how people can come in and out of America? What about Iraq? I mean, he's created a lot. He's done a lot. He's done a lot of work. It's just not work that is for maybe me, but it's for a group of people. Remember, 75 million people voted for him. And in the last few, not days, last few weeks, I've been looking at Biden. And I thought about Barack. And I've been thinking about presidency. So I started to look at some stuff and look at some of the policies that have happened and changes that have happened. And I know that Barack gets a lot of beat up. And I'm using his name because that's a position that I normally don't care about in my day-to-day life. I don't think about the president. But that was one that was like, you know what? Yeah, it was a black president. And I loved his wife, his family. I loved the look for no other reason than he was black with a black wife and a black family. So what? I mean, how many times has it not been that? And I just didn't care. It was like, good for you. He didn't do anything special for black people, but how could he, right? But no one has. And why is it that he gets attacked for having not done it and he's so harshly judged and no one else has been judged like that? So that's what came up in my reading. And not that he didn't do anything in particular that I can see. At least he didn't create something to make it harder. So can that be the bonus? Is it like, a negative and a negative is a positive? If we keep going back, not too far, we don't have to go that far back to see the attack on black and brown people, right? Now, I don't know when this became about black and brown, and I don't know if it ever is not an opportunity for me to talk about that, because that was not my intention. But when we go back to his presidency, going back and from Nixon, it's an attack on Mexicans, on the drugs, Mexico, which is ridiculous because if you go deep enough in, you realize that it's a benefit. And we never talk about the pharmaceuticals in America, legal medication and medicines that they give out. That I just found out the other day that Ritalin, an item that I've used, right, is very close to the process in the body as some serious drugs that if I was selling those drugs, I would be arrested. I didn't know that. It was like one chromosome off. So it's something I have to really look at again, because I can tell you, taking Ritalin was just like, oh, this is a different world. I didn't connect it to drugs, but it's a drug. But how much money is made from that, and how easy it was for me to get that, and how prescriptions are always thrown at me, right? I got a leg issue, a hip, femur, tibia, the whole, I had to relearn to walk and all that, but they were writing me chunky scripts of Vicodin, Percocets, oxycodone, not to be confused with Oxycontin on the block, right? But it's the same thing. But giving that out, and I'm afraid of addiction, so I didn't use it. I'm addictive. I have an addictive personalities, and I have addiction in myself and in my family's history. So I have to be very cautious with pharmaceuticals. But there's some legal drug dealing happening there. But to go back to Nixon with the law and order, to Reagan, right? And it just continues. It's this whole thing, an attack on black and brown people, because that's who's selling the drugs. That's who's using. That's not just who's using the drugs, but that's who's using the drugs, and is an easy target. It's an easy target, right? So with Barack, he didn't push an attack on black and brown people that I know of. I'm sure someone will know exactly what he did. Everything he did was wrong. So I can say, because you didn't do that, and the position is nothing short of a legal, public, grand attack on people, right? It's a place where you can attack and make America look like it's moving somewhere. Like, oh boy wanted to attack Mexico, right? And oh boy allowed the killing of Floyd. He just allowed. This has been a rough 4 years for people who look like me, and it's been okayed, right? There's an upheaval of the KKK and the Patriots and all those things. So that's what old boy has established as far as judges. He put 198, 199 in office. One, I think, was Asian. So you're telling me I'm 10%, right? I'm 10% of the whole in America. 10%. So if it's 200, shouldn't have been 20? You could have gave me 5%, that would have been 10, right? 10 black judges. He has judges, 50 judges that will die in office. None of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, none of that. Nobody who looks like me. Nobody. Are they available? And we don't need another Clarence Thomas. I'm not going to go in on to Clarence Thomas, but we already know everybody that's my complexion doesn't have the same heart that I have. We kind of have that. And maybe I shouldn't attack. Maybe that's a mistake of a black person attacking a black person. And maybe that's part of a design. But I'll take that and handle it. So here he comes out before he leaves, right? He is like, I'm leaving. But before I go, and I always think about myself in like a relationship. And I'm my mother's child. My mother was famous for throwing people out. I mean, she had the party house. So somebody would get maybe too drunk, knock over something, break it. My mother's like, get out. And if he was with his wife, you both get out, everybody out, right? She was Martin got all of that from her, right? I grew up with that. So I would throw my friends out. I have a very pretty sister. So I'll be over at the house with the boys, and my boys would be like, damn, son, what'd you say? And I'm just saying, son, you get out, right? I was throwing people out, and I do that in relationships. I have done that. Not that it's good. I'm not bragging. I'm not making it like it's sexy, but I've done, like, you gotta go. I don't know what you think is going on here, but you gotta go. You gotta go. Get your stuff. Or don't, whatever. You shouldn't be here. And before they go, I'm leaving. I don't need this. I'm leaving. Okay. And they want to do the talk. Don't talk. Don't leave mad. Just leave. He's not leaving mad. And he is leaving mad. And he's not just leaving. But before he goes, right, he is leaving. I believe January 20th it's a bookend. It's the due date for him to be leaving. We'll see how this all goes down, because there's a lot of privilege. There's a lot of insanity. There's and it's interesting to me to watch and see how people just allow certain things on this level, because this is a different level of functionality than I'm familiar with personally. I'm hands-on with certain things. Like, wait, what's happening? Let me help you go. Not that I would say that to a woman, but I've had to help people. Let me get your stuff. Let me get you. No, no, no. I'll get it. Because I don't want you to get the thing and knock my computer over by mistake. Let me help you with all. Let me help you with all this stuff. But let's just keep it going this way. And they're allowing old boy to really get away with murder, and he's causing confusion before he leaves. There's already confusion about president elect, right? It's confusion about that. It's confusion about Georgia. I don't know if that already passed. I think that's happening right now. And before he goes, his last ditch effort is to gather, because $2,000 is that's $1,400 more than what was being presented. 1,400 more. 2,000 is better than 6,000, unless you're paying it. Receiving it, 600, 2,000. He got my ear a little bit. I was like, oh, I'll take it. I'll take it. And I think he's scratching. He's like scratching and searching for a last bit of something. And I know it's not over. I know it's not over. So that was just something that came across my phone. Something popped. I was like, let me see. And I had to read, and I watched a little video, and I'm like, oh, that's really bravo. That's a good way to throw a little obfuscation, right? A little obfuscation. That's a word I connect to him. Don't look at what's actually happening. Let me throw some confusion into the game. And he's really good at that. And I think that has everything to do with his experience in television. He's good at showing up. He's good at showing you one thing and having something else, like a plot twist of a movie, like a TV show when they show a little bit, then they go into commercial and it goes back and explain. He's really good at that, and it's pulling the strings of is it Middle America? Because I don't know. I don't think I live in Middle America, but I know it's a lot of Trump supporters out here. So I don't know. And before I go, I'm about to wrap. I started thinking about like the emotion I have around like Barack. I'm like, it's emotion. Like I love like the Baracks and the Obamas. I love them. Like family. They don't know me. They don't care about me. They don't not care about me. They just like whatever. If that was somebody else, would I have been connected to that? Would I have been harder on them? And I'm not really a politically charged person where I have a lot of opinion. You know how I started. I was like, I don't know, I'm not political, but I've done some work in the last almost 90 days, which is like bravo for you. But yeah, in the last few days, like just reading and checking some stuff out, watching some videos, and just understanding what some of the policies are, and really seeing what each president has done in their presidency and how it impacted like me, how it impacted the world. Because there's some things that are in the world, like, okay, that's over there. But then there's some things that impact me. And like when I say me, I mean like us. Me, my family, friends, people I see. Like there's impact around some of the things that presidents are a part of, and Congress, right? But I don't know that in these times anyone has done something more as a president that was less beneficial for me. And the argument will be, well, what did Barack? And I did not agree with Obamacare. I ended up having to pay like $7 and change a month to have, and it was just like, what? I'd rather not. And then when I said I don't want it, I got taxed. And I did get taxed. And I paid the tax because it ended up being cheaper. The second or third year. I did it for 2 years, and then I was like, you know what? Just tax me. Just tax me. I'm fairly healthy. My kid is $250 appointment, basically. She has 4 appointments a year. So, you know what I mean? That's $1,000, not the $7,000 I'm paying, so I opted out. But I didn't care for it, but I got the bigger picture that some people needed it, and I paid while I paid. So that's something I didn't really rock with. But other than that, I don't see what else he did that was out of alignment outside of not create a function that went after black people. And maybe I'm 1,000% wrong, but I don't know. Black and brown, right? But black people. Clinton did it. 3 strikes. I mean, we can go down the line of things that are just deliberately focused on crippling a group of people that look like me. And congratulations, we have it again. And even Biden. I don't know why I always want to call him Bin Laden. It's Ben. Biden was a part of, the super criminal, the super predator. He was a part of that. Yet again, another group of people who don't look like me who want to turn up the volume on people who look like me. And now, abracadabra, he's going to be our president. So I get the club, right? I get and understand it. And yes, he apologized for it. And yes, what am I going to do? What are we going to do? This is just what it is. But I think there's an emotional connection to the idea of being a Democrat, which I am, that makes me oppose Republicans just like I'm a Giants fan, not a Jet fan. Like in that world, I'm a Yankee fan, not a Mets fan. And I, never will, is in that world. But at the end of the day, both of those are just teams that are making money providing entertainment from sports, right? So what if both parties at the end of the day like hang out together and they just, all I know is that the Republicans are focused on their agenda in a way that's extremely interesting, where the Democrats don't seem to have that same focus. And I don't know why. I don't know enough to know why, or to actually have a viable, realistic, reliable opinion on it. Just an observation. They seem to be in alignment together, even in the world of insanity, right? Like so many have not called him out. It's just like, nope. On CNN, nope. There is some crime. There is some voters fraud. And it's like, wait, but yeah, they threw it out, but there still needs to be an investigation. These people are focused on the goal, right? Remember the goal is up here. And they're here. They are together in a way that's like, I wouldn't mind being together with somebody like that. They not saying what that sounded like, but there's an agenda, and I question what the agenda is, right? Is it really to crush me? It can't be. It can't. I'd hate to believe that was the agenda. But there are a lot of laws and rules and structures and things that are created that would have me think. And then I'm thinking over here, it's like, this is a better place. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not saying don't vote. I voted. I'm a Democrat. Independence looks pretty good, but we all know the independents end up just taking votes away from somebody until somebody else, Anyway, I'm rambling. Anyway, thank you for hanging out. I had some free time. Really, Cyan just came out and gave me the let's play look. So I'm going to wrap this up. I want to thank y'all for hanging out with me. Love your daughters. Love yourself. Take care of yourself. Enjoy the rest of this day. I took the dog out for a nice walk. And that's not too bad. I would think I was overdressed. I wasn't overdressed last night, but I was overdressed today. So maybe the weather's changing for the better. I'm sure another snowstorm is coming. But anyway, you take fantastic care of yourself. Be good. Be good to you. Be good to you. So then you can be good to other people. That is just about it. Take good care. Peace.